Alright, today we are going to be making a multi-material object. So if you want to add more than one material to an object, this is going to be a guide for you. Now, I already recorded this once, but for some reason the audio on my recording software didn't pick up anything, so I'm just going to voice over this part and then we'll go through it step by step from scratch again. But this is essentially what we will be making in this video, so make sure you watch to the end to get it to work properly. And we are going to be using a bunch of different plugins and software to make this happen. Unfortunately, there's no way around that, so I'll put all those links in the description for you, and you can download them right now or as we need them. Just be sure to do that, and while you're heading down there to the links, make sure you hit that like button. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here we are back in our project for the third time. I'm trying to make this video, and we just have a simple cube here. I called it a multi-face cube because that's what we're going to be making it. And just go ahead and drag that out into your project to create a prefab. That'll be the easiest way to do this. Now you're going to want to make sure your position is zeroed out in both the prefab and the object, as this will save you a lot of trouble down the road, but it's okay if it isn't. I'll show you how to fix it even if you forget to do this step, or maybe the object you're working with has some kind of issue. But it's not a big deal, but it will save you effort in the long run. Now, at this point, we can't normally export to FBX. You will not see this option. What you need to do is go to your either package manager, if you might already have this downloaded, and hit download and import, or you can hit window if you don't have it and go to search online for this. Now we will be using this file right here. I'll link in the description, but you're just going to add this to your Unity and then it will appear in your package manager like so. You're going to hit download and import. Once you do that step, you will be able to right click on your prefab, hit FBX exporter, and today we're going to be doing only game object. Now you might have a use for these in the future, but for our demonstration, we're going to need only the game object. So we're just going to export this. And now you can see we have a new object, and it does have a FBX extension. However, at this point, we need to open it in new software. We need to open whatever we're going to be using inside Blender. So go ahead and delete the standard cube, and we're going to import our multi-face cube. Now where is our cube? Right, well, ASCII FBX files are not supported. So at this point, you might think you're stuck. However, all you need to do is use another piece of software called an FBX converter. Now you just need to add the FBX that we made, and it will create a new folder inside that location, FBX 2013, and do the work for us. So let's go ahead and do that. Now ours already exists, and we're just going to go ahead and overwrite it. Now that we have done that, we have a 2013 FBX, which should be openable inside Blender. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's go back to our project folder, and here it is. And now we have it. Now let's say you forgot to zero out the position. How would you deal with that? Well, it's not that big of a deal. You can just type, the easiest way to deal with this is just to type in transform, go to our mesh, go to the object, and make sure it's zeroed out here. That will fix your issue for the position, which again is going to help you when you go to re-import it. But ours is fine. So what we actually need to do is go to material and then add 5 materials. So we have a total of 6. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we have enough. Let's drag this down. Yeah. Okay. So at this point, we have a cube and we have some materials. Let's make sure we hit new on each one of these. And now you can see we have 5, with this being the 6th. So we need to go to edit mode, make sure we select the faces. At this point, it is important to note that I'm using the middle mouse button down to pan. And then we need to click on the faces. So there's going to be a total of 12, but if you have a complex object, you're going to see a lot more. This is just how we assign which material affects which face of our object. So let's select this first one and hit assign, and we're going to go to the right, go to material 1, assign, and so on and so forth until we got all 4 sides plus the top and bottom. Now if we actually click on the faces, we can see it's swapping to what material is assigned. But let's make this a little more clear inside our example once we import it back in by changing the colors, the default colors. So we're just going to go down the color wheel here and make sure they all have a unique color so it's a good demonstration for us. Alright, so at this point, we're almost done. Now we just need to hit export, FBX, and make sure we only are getting the mesh, that's all we need. And we're going to go ahead and put this back inside our project folder. We're going to call this multi-face cube, and then 2, and then export. Now if we go back into Unity, we can just drag it from where we see it. It'll be there waiting for you. And we can see we actually do have a multi-face cube with 6 materials. So let's say we actually want to assign a different material to one of the sides. Well, we can now, or faces I should say. Well, we actually see we can assign a material to the face without affecting the other faces. So this is essentially how this process is done. It does require other software. There's really no way around that. The process is more simple in Unreal to get an FBX that's usable in Blender, but you still have to export it to a 3D modeling software such as Blender or Maya to get this kind of thing done and to edit the faces. Overall, this takes just a few minutes to get done and is really quite simple. If I can do it, so can you, and hopefully you were able to follow along with this tutorial. If you were, hopefully I have earned your like, comment, or subscription today with this tutorial video. I hope this helps you, and I hope I made the process pretty straightforward and simple. And that's it. Hopefully this gave you a solid start. Whether you're building your first VRChat world or just looking to add more polish to the one you've already got, these little systems can go a long way toward making your world feel interactive and alive. If you want to try this asset out before dropping it into your own project, I've got a public demo world set up. You can jump in, push buttons, test things out, and see exactly how it works in action. I always try to keep the demo world updated with the latest version, so it's a great place to explore and get ideas. And if this video helped you, or if you're using any of my tools in your world, consider supporting me on Patreon. It helps me carve out more time to make these assets, keep them updated, and put together more tutorials like this one. Even a small pledge goes a long way and means a lot. There's a link to both the demo world and the Patreon in the description below, so feel free to check them out. Thanks again for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.